Hey everyone, this is Caroline. Welcome. I hope you all are doing good. Today I'm on my own. Michael is attending very important business because we are launching the film finally. Yay, Superhuman, the Invisible Made Visible. You can see the poster right behind me. It is finally out July 14th. Make sure you set your calendar. This is a very important film. Not because I made it, of course it is, but because it validates a lot of the topics that you guys have been working on. You know, we've been talking about that energy affects our reality, our mind, our consciousness, but you know, of course, there's been many types of information out there, but this film brings it to a whole new level. I mean, we're talking actual demonstration, actual validation. We show scientifically how this could be possible. So this film is your film, you know, so I feel it's going to help you as well. So because of this, I'm very, very excited. I want everybody to be together on this, and so we can launch it into the world. So please go to superhumanfilm.com. You can already pre-order, even if you've already seen glimpses of it or whatever, because with the pre-order, you get bonus tracks, and it's a lot of fun. And so, plus, you're going to want to see this film over and over. This is not a romantic comedy you see once and it's over. This is very important information. It's actually loaded with information. We have top-notch casts and scientists. So anyway, please do your share, your part. We worked very long, very hard on this important documentary, and it's finally out there. So today, also what we've been doing is doing classes, because you know, when we were filming, incredible people moving objects and doing stuff with the blindfold, you know, and demonstrating how this is possible, that when you finish watching this film, when we were filming already, like the crew and everybody else was like, where can I learn this? I know I can do this, or my kid can do this. So also on superhumanfilm.com, you can see the workshops that we've been teaching. In fact, I can see, for those who are just joining, welcome from everywhere, the US, California, East Coast to Netherlands, Australia, very cool, UK. Hello, UK. So for those who have joined, we have kids who just took 2 lessons. After 2 lessons, you guys are able to see with the blindfold, read with the blindfold. You know, for the parents who are here, make sure to type this in the comments for everybody to see. And so this tells us that this is real, that we are not making this stuff up. This is very much happening right now. So that's why I'm very excited. So go to, on the website, go to workshops, and then you'll see the information. There are a few classes still coming up, but we are going to post more, okay? So right now, our focus is to finish these classes, and then we'll post new ones. But we want to, hello from Mexico, Elena, all my friends are joining. Our focus is to launch the film as well. Then we'll be posting even more classes. So that's my spiel, the introduction. And so the way we're going to do this today is because I'm on my own. I'm going to try to read your questions, but you can type them in. We're also live on Facebook. So if you catch me on Facebook, you can type in your questions as well on the Superhuman Film Facebook page as well. And we will try to answer your questions. I will try. Multidimensional, multitasking today. So anyway, hello everybody. Again, those who are just joining from Oregon, from California. I see all my friends from all over the world. Yay. Okay. Florida. Elena from Florida. Hey, Elena also was in a spoon bending class a couple of days ago. She could not bend the spoon. We went through, specific protocol, and of course she did it, no problem. This is also important. Again, this is all a reminder of what consciousness can do, especially with what's happening today. In fact, like this morning, we've been talking about how we have different feelings and different emotions, and all kinds of stuff is coming up, even physical symptoms. But like, for example, today, I feel the collective consciousness very chaotic, like different chaotic. Of course, it's been chaotic, but today it feels very panicky. I feel like people are panicking, trying to figure out what to do before they get locked up again. Locked down. It's kind of the same thing. And so I feel like there's this scrambling, trying to figure out how to take care of themselves and how to maximize their time of freedom, because they've been feeding us again the information that we're going to be locked up again, because look at COVID numbers here and So of course we've been talking about this for a while, and we know that this is happening, so it's nothing surprising. But again, the question becomes, so we know there's an agenda, we know we can see through all of these stories, we can see through all the lies, all the not just the agendas, the story that keeps changing and becoming more and more ridiculous. But you catch COVID, by being 6 feet apart, but it's in the air. But then if you're walking on the beach, you have to keep walking. You can't sit down. Like the virus is gonna kind of jump on the people who are sitting down. It's like, it doesn't even make sense. Some scientists are saying, no. You have to literally spit in a person's face or mouth to actually get it. Others are saying, no. So it's just like all over the place. Who do you believe? It's such a big mess. So we know this, we know the agenda. Last time I talked about this agenda going to a digital society down the road. So these are tiny little kind of parts of the stories that are fitting together to take us to this digital society. Because then they're going to tell us, well, you have to stay home, but you have to do everything digitally. We can track you digitally. We can bring you everything to you digitally. We can bring medicine, telemedicine. Everything comes to you digitally. We can do your shopping for you digitally. And so and of course, we're going to say, yes, of course, and we already have been programmed. I mean, the last 10 years with social media, a few years ago, I would have never, for those who know me, I was like, social media is going to separate us. Social media, it's not really an organic way of connecting and all of that good stuff. And of course, now, several years later, I'm using social media. We're all using social media. Is this hypocritical? Yes, maybe on some level. But the difference is we are conscious. We are conscious of the negative effects of social media. And when we are using it, we are very consciously intending to pour the positive energy and something positive, even though we are forced, in a way, if we do want to communicate on a large scale, to use social media. And so at the end of the day, we got to stop beating ourselves. That's how I came to terms with it. You stop beating yourself up. You say, okay, I get it. I know what it's doing. I know the harmful effect, but I am choosing to help others. I'm choosing to connect with others. And if that's a good platform to do it, then I'm going to use it, with my proper intent. So I'm in alignment with myself. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because it brings us back to where we are today. We are already programmed. We are already dependent. We are already kind of tapped into the digital system of communication, which is social media. And so on top of this, On top of this, we now have also all these satellites being shot up in space and positioned perfectly to create this network of information, another form of internet that is also be supported by 5G. We've been talking about 5G for a while. And so we know that that is also another level, another layer of sending information globally. And I think this is already operational, maybe not as perfectly, but it's definitely already working on some level, because it is so bizarre. Have you not seen and noticed that with this whole COVID thing, when information is disseminated, when you see something, all of a sudden the entire world reacts in the same way. Not just the lockdown with the COVID, but this whole Black Lives Matter thing that started with a case here and Minneapolis in our country, yet the entire planet is reacting. In the UK, in France, and other countries, they are reacting. So what's up with that? So if you think about it, in the past, if you had a racial issue like that, in fact, that's the problem. If you had a racial issue like this several years ago, the other countries wouldn't really care. I mean, wouldn't be paying attention. So if you're paying close attention now, you notice the response globally is different. And I think this has to do with this global network that's already in place. It's almost like whatever I'm going to do here is going to resonate in the same way and affect people all over. Now, of course, there's certain countries, little pockets here and there that are not responding, but I think this is what's happening. And so here we are on a digital level on social media. So social media is information, but you're using your intellect. So intellectually, you're reading information, you're Googling, you're sending text, you're doing all of this. So it's still using your analytical cognitive mind to receive and give this information on a social media level. Now with these satellites, it's almost like on a radio wave level, electromagnetic level, we're also receiving information. So now my brain is operating on two levels, where I'm not, of course, aware of these subtle radio waves coming to me, electromagnetic waves that are actually not just waves, but information, because this information is propagating through these radio waves. So when these radio waves come to my brain, I am receiving information. And so now I have the social media intellectual talking using human language to communicate and disseminate and receive information. And on the radio wave, electromagnetic wave, I'm receiving other information. So, or additional information. So that's the reason why I feel like this is a whole new level of manipulation, a whole new level of reality. And so why is this so important? Of course, it's important to understand. We're not, for those who know me especially, I don't talk about these things to scare you. Quite the opposite. It's more to, you've always known when you get a weird download or you get a weird kind of feeling, it's not crazy, it's all real. This is only to validate that the truth. And so when you know the truth, then you can do something about it. Instead of kind of, wondering, what do I do? Am I a victim? How do I navigate this craziness? It's just insane. And so that's the reason why, if I want you to get this clear picture, we're being bombarded intellectually, psychologically, through the human language, digitally. Now, other radio waves, electromagnetic waves, amplifying all of this stuff. On top of this, we also have the planetary grid, which is actually our way out. That's why I'm talking to you about all this, because for me, the bottom line, yes, we get it. We see this, we see the madness, but what do I do about it? How do I still create my reality within all of this stream of information that's coming to me? Whether I like it or not, it's happening. And so all of these, this kind of uncomfortable feelings should be a guidance for you, an impetus, a catalyst, or kind of give you the energy to help yourself to ask for a solution. So you heard me talk about the planetary grid many times. I tried to show you the video. It's actually posted on the YouTube channel for those who want to check it out. But I want to show you another visual, because if you see this visual, again, what I'm trying to do today is to give you this visual of the bigger picture and begin to see how you are going to be able to play your role, okay, not just individually, but also as communities. So give me a second. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. And don't worry, I'm not going to play a video. I'm not going to play a video. I'm going to show you an image, because every time I show you a video, it's a bit of a disaster. Do you guys see my screen? I think you see my screen, right? Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Now, try again. Okay, good. Thank you. So here we go. You guys see my screen? Okay, perfect. So you see, this is a video, so I kind of stopped it in the middle of everything. But you can see all these little dots are parts of the grid patterning system, meaning this is the patterning of space. I'm not going to go into all the details. I wrote about it. I taught it for several years. For those who are interested, can go back. For the purpose of where we are today and what we can do and what's the point of all of this. So you are inside this grid system. We're going to just focus on time space. So there are several, this is a multi-layered grid, so there's several grids within this grid, but let's talk about the time-space grid. And so just imagine, again, I stopped it here. Here we go. So different grids are together. Oops, sorry, that was a good one. This one, okay, cool. So what happens is you are inside this grid, whether you like it or not, whether you feel it or not, whether you see it or not, whether scientists believe in it or not, it doesn't matter. I can guarantee, I can tell you 1000% that down the road, I don't know when, but when scientists will start to really look at the possibility that our space is actually intelligent design, that it's not just ourselves, it's not just nature, it's not just only parts of reality or part of creation that has intelligent design, but all of it has intelligent design. The space that looks empty has intelligent design. And when they start looking at that, then they go to the next, okay, so what is that design? And how is it organized? Anyway, so we'll see about that in 50 years or whatever. In the meantime, I can tell you, I've been seeing, and those who have been working with me have experienced this 1,000 times. This is very real. You are part of this patterning of space. One level of this patterning is time-space. What this means is that you're inside this time-space grid, and every time you think, every time you have an emotion, every time you send out, you speak, your brain, you right here, are sending out a signal. You're emitting a signal. We know that you are a magnetic field. You are energy that is emitting a signal. We can measure that scientifically by just measuring the biophoton energy that's coming out of your body, the electricity coming out of your body, the electromagnetism coming out of your body. So you are emitting signals. And so when you think, when you have any sort of emotion, you are emitting a specific signal. So these signals are energy, are a form of energy. So energy does, once it's created, cannot be destroyed. So where is this energy? Where is this signal? Where is your thought going? So it's coming out of your brain, and it's like what? Like it's just floating around, and like what? It doesn't disappear. It must go somewhere. It gets, it becomes in resonance with other signals. If I'm doing this and you're doing this, and the people in Netherlands, people in Australia, everybody's doing this. So there's all these signals that are being emitted by us, and they come together. They the law of attraction, if we want to simplify it, it's a lot more complex than that. But let's pretend it is the law of attraction, because many people understand that. So through the law of attraction, through the law of resonance, and of course entanglement, my signals start to connect in this time-space grid with other people's thoughts and emotions that are similar to mine. And we're talking about frequency here. We're not talking about actual words. And so when I emit a frequency of joy, like I'm excited about today, or I'm hopeful about today, or whatever, and I keep pouring this information, I start to create clusters of energy that are now in resonance with other clusters of energy. So you see these pink dots are, even though they're spread out in space, they represent clusters of energy that are now integrated in the time-space continuum. And so as we are thinking, we are all contributing to the time-space continuum of planet Earth. That's how it works. And that's also, by the way, the reason why when I want to go backwards, let's say I want to tap into a past life that I have, I'm actually going into one of these points and retrieving the information that I poured in the time-space continuum in 1752 or whatever, in the year 1465 or whatever, because this is the mechanism of consciousness and time-space continuum since the beginning of time. So every time you have an incarnation, you do the same thing over and over and over. You plus millions and trillions of people since the beginning of time, all of these human generation after generation becomes what people call the Akashic record, if you will. It's a massive library of information that all of us has poured into the time-space continuum. So now, fast forward to today, here I am today. I can basically retrieve any information from the grid if I know how, of course, which I do, which we talk in the class, we teach in the class. But I can tap into, so when I'm tapping into and I'm revisiting a past life, I am literally matching the resonance. My brain is literally reading this information that was implanted in the time space at that time, at that year. And that's why I can see myself as a past life, as a, I don't know, as a soldier in the you know, the Cold War. I mean, not the Cold War, the whatever, Civil War or what have you. That's how it works. So why is this and how is this relevant today? It's relevant today because every time I speak, I am changing, I am contributing, I am adding to the time-space continuum. Not just my energy field, but if you want to think of it this way, that's fine. My brain is connected to my energy field, but my energy field is connected to the larger energy field, which is all of this. So it's all magnetism, it's all energy, it's all frequency, it's all vibration. Nothing is static. Everything is interacting with everything. Again, you don't see it. Some people feel it, but most people don't see it. Therefore, they say, it doesn't exist. It's not there, whatever. They can say whatever they want, but I can tell you 1,000%, this is very much real. This explains intuition. This explains when you have a premonition. This explains past lives. This explains incarnation. This explains everything. UFOs as well, but we're not going there today. Okay, so this is relevant today because I just said we are being bombarded with information coming from satellites, coming into our brains through radio waves. Our human brain is trying to figure this out. What do I do? How do I pay my bills? What jobs do I have? How am I going to make money, right? You're trying to navigate inside this whole grid that others are contributing. What they're doing is they're adding information, they're pouring their signals in the time-space continuum. And so when you are trying to navigate, it messes you up. I mean, it's like an overload of information. So that's why I want to show you this, because this is so real and it works. So the idea is then, if you understand that this is true, this is a fact, then you can begin to consciously contribute, pour into not just your energy field, but the planetary grid, the time-space continuum, your information that you want to see. The time-space continuum is what gives us the experience of reality. You see? So you are navigating now, we're walking on a street, and we have a sense that time is passing, but we're also in a space, in a geometric space. So we're inside a geometric space and time is passing. That is the human planetary experience. This could not exist if we didn't have this grid. In fact, when you go outside the grid, when you go through certain wormholes, you go outside the grid and you have no sense of time or space. But that's a different conversation. So let's bring it back today. So if I understand that this is a fact, and this is why even my experience of time space is changing, time is becoming shorter and weirder, right? I'm being bombarded by all these, not just intellectual, psychological information, but also radio waves, other kinds of waves. So now I can do my share. Sorry. Where was that? Woo. That was a perfect one. Sorry, guys. So now I can do my share and start to pour into the information that I want. So think about this. If I do this, and there's thousands of people who do the same thing, pour the same information. Now I'm starting to shift the information that's in the time space, therefore the experience of reality for everyone, you see? And so if I do this wherever I'm located, I do it with 1,000 other people, and you do it in the Netherlands with 1,000 people, and you do it with other people in Canada and in France and Australia and India and Russia and blah, blah, blah. What starts to happen is that even we are not physically connected, we are very much not only connected, but we are in resonance with each other, and we create a web. We create a very strong web around the planet. Then that gives the experience of time, space, therefore reality for everyone on Earth. And so people talk about, like you have to have a certain number of people, and that's basically how you shift the collective consciousness consciously. And so so a lot of people, you hear about talks like you have to have a critical mass, like you have to have a minimum number of people to affect. I totally disagree. I disagree with this concept because it's not about the number of people, it's about the consciousness mass, meaning each person has a different mass, a different type of consciousness. And so if my consciousness mass is equal to 1 million people, somebody else's consciousness mass could be equal to 10 people. Somebody else's consciousness mass could be equal to 1 billion people. So everybody's this is a whole different subject, but it has to do with the type of consciousness that you are, which gives you the ability to pour into the collective consciousness differently. So what I'm trying to say is that I could be the only person on the entire planet, for all we know, that would have the consciousness mass of 7 billion people, you see. Not everybody has the same consciousness mass. In fact, those that we call, Christ and those people, without going into religion, we're talking about intelligent beings. The reason why we still remember them, the reason why there's all these stories around them, the reason why there's all these religions, it's because on some level, of course, there's a business going on. But other than that, there are beings that have walked the earth, that are walking the earth right now, that have a consciousness mass that is equal to 7 billion people. Therefore, what I'm saying, it has nothing to do with having a bunch of people together. It has to do with the proper type, the different type of beings. And so but it's better. So let's say one person has a consciousness mass of 7 billion people. So that person can shift the entire collective consciousness. Yes. But think about it. It's one person doing the work of a whole humanity. What about you? You didn't come in to sit back, relax, watch TV, and eat potato chips. I'm sorry. You came to be part of this, because even if you have a consciousness mass of 10 people, it doesn't matter, because you came here to tap into this collective and change it. That is your role, you see. And so I'm saying all of this. I hope I'm not boring some people, but I think this is so important, because we are facing very physical, very 3D issues. And we think we're going to resolve these issues by doing, resolving physical issues with physical things. Well, thought and consciousness are fundamental to the physical world, meaning they're before, they are the instigator. You create the physical world with thought, with energy. So that's the reason why you have to understand how that energy works. You have to understand that is more powerful than the physical world. And so that's why, if we're going to create a new reality, if we're going to affect the continuum, we're not going to go up there and nail stuff in space. We don't even know. I mean, you wouldn't know which point in space, right? And so that's not how it works, because that is consciousness. That is the quantum field of planet Earth. And you are also interacting with it energetically, if you will, electromagnetically, if you will. And so you're operating on that level before the physical world appears, you see. So that is the reason why I think it's so important for you to sit back, say, okay, the vaccines, blah, blah, blah. I'm stuck at home. I don't have a job. All of that. Okay, I get it. Let me pull away for a second and focus on my consciousness and see what I want to pour into this collective consciousness, this planetary grid. What I want to pour into my own energy field, first of all, and continue to expand that and continue to feed that and feed it and feed it and make it so strong. In fact, you have to have a thought for at least 14 seconds before it gets trapped, if you will, with the planetary grid magnetic field. It's like, in order for the attraction, for it to lock in, 14 seconds of information that I'm pouring into the planetary structure in order for it to stick. And so I want to keep saying what I want. I don't want to keep saying what I don't want, because we get it. It's all there. I want to keep saying, I want to create health. I want to create love. I want to create joy. I want to create freedom. Yes, even though the vaccines or whatever are happening, you can still create freedom. So if you do that over and over and over, first of all, you will strengthen your field. That's number one. So whatever's coming that is in contradiction with what you're saying is going to have a hard time getting in. You're going to be able to escape certain things, make yourself invisible to certain things, and navigate differently. But also on a bigger, I want you to think big. I want you to think that you are part of a bigger story, okay? And we all came here together. We came here together to do this. And so then you begin to visualize, okay, it's not just me, it's not me just strengthening my magnetic field, but I'm also now changing this entire field, this entire space around planet Earth. And others are doing the same. And you will start to feel less alone. You will start to feel that you are part of a system that has a lot of support. And this is where, when I say, yes, on a physical level, you can go and create communities. But if you don't do the background work, if you will, the energy, the consciousness part of it, then you're still operating on a physical level. You're still, butting head with the physical world that others are creating. In order for you to bypass that, in order for you to overcome that, you have to you have to look at the bigger picture that is bigger than the physical world, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Anyway, so I'm saying this because so what I'm saying is that this is so important because for you to also start to feel that there are others like you that are in resonance with you all over the planet. And in fact, the more, I'm glad I'm talking about this right now. I don't know how many people understand it and get it and see the importance and the relevance of it. It doesn't matter. But I feel like you will see more of the evidence of this and the reason why this is so important. And of course, again, a quick fast forward. So my collective consciousness here in my area is in resonance with all these communities around the world that become very, very important. And this strength, again, the strength of this community, the strength of this new network is based on love, truth, beauty, goodness, the principles that govern the universe, okay? So that whatever agenda people have, oh, let me create a product so I can sell vaccines, blah, 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 whatever agenda they have, it's going to feel so small. You're going to all of a sudden feel massive because you are resonating and the universe has your back because you're going to feel you are looking at everything from a much bigger picture, much bigger perspective. That is, and then everything they're creating is going to feel so small. They're going to feel like little ants, like cockroaches, like trying to, figure out, oh, how am I going to blah, 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 control these people and control these people. You're going to have that sense of confidence and freedom because your consciousness, and then the physical, like the daily physical stuff, it's going to take care of itself by itself because you are resonating, first of all, with many, many people around the world at a much higher level frequency. It's all about frequency. So control and power and greed is a very, very low frequency. I mean, it's, and love, truth, beauty, goodness is a massive, massive frequency. And so this little cockroach, sorry, cockroach, didn't mean it in that way, but you know what I mean. This little thing, that's trying to supposedly control you, it's going to feel so small and it's going to dissolve in your energy. So that's the reason why this is so crucial. This is so important. And the more we do this, this is the beginning of what's yet to come. So I encourage everyone to understand and just to try it out, okay? Just try it out and let it go. Are you going to see tomorrow morning like an incredible result? In a lot of cases, yes. I know for sure we've had all kinds of miracles happen. If you've done this work with me a while, you know what I'm talking about, and you will see major changes in your life. But for others, it may take a few times. It may take a few talks, a few YouTube lives, a few whatever, until you feel that new network that you're all part of. And when that's happened, I feel like this is going to build up until 2024 and then get stronger until 2025. And then when that happens, then what happens is that this grid that we've created, first of all, starts to translate on a physical level. Like I said, all the laws, everything that they're trying to do starts to get messed up. There are lawsuits right now. Let me finish this thought and then I'll go back to this. But what I'm saying is, as we are building this new network of information, it becomes so strong that all these satellites and all these whatever other information is going to get dissolved. It's going to get messed up. It's like we're creating a barrier in a way, if you will, because our network, this network that is based on truth and love, is so strong. Like it's almost like nothing can penetrate it anymore. So all of these signals coming from outer space, they're going to bounce back, or they're going to trickle down in a very weird way. And what that translates into, a politician who tells us this is the truth, another politician that tells us, no, this is the truth. A doctor who tells us, or CDC who tells us this other guy, this other expert, this is what it translates into on a physical level. Because that signal that's supposed to come and make everybody obey and everybody do exactly what they're being told, all of a sudden this signal is like all over the place. And that's the reason why it's not really working. So we have to make this much, much stronger. We have to, and as you do this, you will, like I said, on an individual level, you're going to strengthen your energy field, but also you will have that additional support, and you will start to awaken more and more to your mission. It's something that will gradually it'll be a little bit like, because as you're pouring into this network of higher consciousness, you're also receiving, it's a loop. It's not a one-way street. You're also retrieving and you're downloading your own potential. You see what I mean? The more you do that, and you will have a clearer understanding, a clearer vision of who you are, what you came to do, and how important and crucial your role is, especially now. Does that make sense? And then the more we strengthen this by 2024 into 2026, then you see I think I showed you this part. Let me see. Where's this part? This is your brain. Your physical brain has the exact same geometry. Again, for those who are new, who are interested in the details, can go back to classes and books that I wrote about the grid and how the physical brain is matching the same geometry. But this is just a quick thing. But what I'm saying is, as my brain is creating this grid, and your brain is, and we all around the world. That's what I like about this group, is that we are all coming from all around the world. And sometimes I get so many emails that tell me, do you know anybody in my area who does omnium work or your work or whatever, or this kind of higher consciousness work, because I feel so alone. And so I want to say that, yes, some of us are alone. There are some groups together that are closer together, and others are totally alone. But I'm going to tell you, it's purposeful. It's purposeful because it doesn't mean that you have to stay alone forever. You're going to attract more people in the physical sense. But because what I showed you, we kind of have to be alone. We kind of have to be split up, because we all have to do it from our geographical location. You see, if we're all gathered in Los Angeles, not that that's the ultimate location, but whatever, then it's almost like the grid, like people, I don't know, in India or Russia or like on the other side, it's almost like an off balance, you see. So the geographical splitting up of us physically is purposeful for this purpose. And so now you can put it in perspective. You can shift, like, why am I so alone? Am I the only one, only weird one in my neighborhood, whatever. Now you can look at the bigger picture, shift it in. I'm a genius. I know exactly why I came here, because this is what I'm contributing to. And I can still connect with others through, social media right now. But there's all kinds of ways of communicating. Because yes, I would love to be able to do all of this telepathically, and for you to get the entire message perfectly, but we're not quite there yet, even though some people are. But in general, so we have to do a little bit of this, which is totally fine. Okay. So anyway, what I'm saying is, just to wrap this up, the more we strengthen, we build this network of higher consciousness, the more then the entire planet, you see, I'm going to play this. Let me see if I can play it with that audio, because the audio was screwing up a little. Sorry, it was messing with us. So the more we do this, the more we now start to connect. Look at this. Look at this. We start to connect the entire planet. You see, by the way, this is mathematically correct when we built that grid. All these points are in perfect coherence, actually, together mathematically. So you see, we start to connect the entire planet to the rest of the cosmos. And this is how all the pathways, you know how people tell us, oh, in astrological opening or whatever. Yeah, we are opening these pathways like never before, and reconnecting the whole planet back to the source and the rest of the universe. And that's how we are doing it. That's how we should be doing it. That's what we should be thinking about now. And so you see, you know, we think so small. You know, this was, I think I kind of got on a whole conversation here, but I think this is so important. I don't know about you, but this is, to me, this is what's going to get us out of this. You know, we have to stop thinking small. We have to stop thinking insignificant. We have to stop thinking victim. Okay, I don't think you came here to be a victim and to let everybody pour into the collective consciousness and dictate what your life is going to be about. I'm not going to do that. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. And so these are important principles that I've been teaching, experiencing with thousands of people by now, for a very long time. And so we know this works. This is how we're going to shift this reality and create. And again, the more you do that collectively, the more it strengthens your field, therefore your ability to create your individual reality. And your individual reality starts to change. Your problems start to get resolved. Okay, I hope this is making sense. And you're, you know, let's see if I can take some questions. Of course, Michael's not with me, but let me see if I have some questions. Do you guys see how I didn't talk about some of the other things that are also happening on a human level, but it doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is, I think right now the work is really for you to take your control back and to know that you create your physical reality with your consciousness. It's not the other way around. You can try all you want. And so if your consciousness is creating your physical reality, then you better know the parameters. You better know the laws that govern consciousness. And so that's how you are going to maneuver this thing. All right, let me see. Do we have questions? I know that let me see. Did you guys type in some questions? I see a lot of comments. I'm glad. I have somebody from Slovakia. Welcome. I love it. En France. Bonjour la France. Let me see if I can take. Yes, this makes sense. Just a plant turns towards the sun, connects and converts light energy to chemical, additional kinetic energy to grow. Humans can connect, gather, multiply, spiritual and mental energy, love, truth to grow and heal and develop. Thank you. Amen. Yes, my dear, this is exactly how it works. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. So somebody's asking, this is my first attendance. Should we start with daily affirmation? Okay, thank you for asking this question. There's a big problem with just affirmation. I'm not saying it doesn't work, it doesn't, but what I'm saying is it doesn't always work, because in fact, you should take my class, The Creative Formula, mastering the creative form, meaning how to create your reality. Because here's the thing, you are multidimensional. You're operating on several levels. Your consciousness is not linear. It's not one layer. So my conscious mind right now is talking to you, is finding the human language that I need to use for you to understand. So that's a conscious, but my subconscious mind is saying something else perhaps, and my superconscious mind is the one that's channeling, if you will. It's bringing me that guidance at the same time. And there's more, but I'm just simplifying. So all three are working at the same time. And so the problem with affirmation, like a lot of people have a lot of subconscious conflicting beliefs and emotions. So for example, when you say, I want to create a new job, okay? So your conscious mind is saying, I want to create a new job, I want to create a new job, and you say it 14 seconds. But your subconscious mind is saying, I don't think this is going to happen because the economy, because everybody lost their job. I don't see how that's going to work. So your subconscious mind is obviously subconscious, so you're not aware of what it's saying, but it's saying it anyway. So you are sending conflicting information into the time space and reality, if you will. And so one part of you is saying this, the other one is saying the opposite. So who's going to win? That's why you don't create. So the reason why is the same with relationships, same with money, with everything. So the idea is first to know what the subconscious mind is saying, delete that, and then say your affirmation, because now it's just your affirmation and there's nothing holding it back. So I recommend you go to my website, CarolineCorey.com, if you really want to know more, master this, the mechanism of your consciousness. That class is called, go to online classes, that class is called Mastering the Creative Formula. Alors, on est en français, on est tous connectés à la conscience une. This means, in French, we are all connected to one consciousness. Exactly. Somebody else, Jamie saying, did you already answer the person's question about morning fears and attachments? I relate to that question and would like to know your thoughts. Jamie or Jane, I'm sorry. So I recommend that, so on Wednesday, I am doing another YouTube live on anxiety and depression and all the stuff that many people are going through. So I recommend, it's free, it's on my YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube channel and go to the Wednesday series. It starts with anxiety, and then it's the last one we just did was about attachments, because we have a lot of attachments that are latching on, that are making us think certain things and having certain feelings and getting us down. And so I also posted a free session for attachment, releasing attachments from your field and your consciousness. So go back to the last Wednesday. Yeah, this last Wednesday, I believe, I'm pretty sure. And look in the comments section. There's all kinds of, one is free, a couple of them are free, and then other sessions specifically on that. What else? So if you've already written a question, because it's scrolling, keep scrolling. So just go ahead and retype it, maybe copy and paste so I can see again here, so I don't have to scroll up and down. Jody, so on Facebook, once we have connected to this new grid through your global guided meditation, will we stay connected, or do we have to reconnect if we lower our vibration? Yeah, it's a great question. It's kind of like, again, I always mention this. It's like taking a shower. Do you take like one shower and you're set for a month? I don't know. I don't think so. You kind of every day have to take a shower. Every day you have to brush your teeth. Why? Because you are bombarded. You are in contact with the physical world all the time, and you are attracting stuff. You are constantly, receiving this stream of information coming from others. So because of that, you want to do this energetic hygiene, just like you take a shower. Every day you do this cleanse. Again, free on my website, free on my YouTube channel. It's a meditation called Connecting to Source. It's very, very specific. And please don't tell me I already meditate, because every meditation does something different. If you're asking me for a meditation that specifically aligns your energy, connects your brain channels with those specific higher frequencies, and cleanses your, flushes out all of these lower vibrations, then do this meditation. You can continue doing your meditation, but this meditation does exactly that. Again, free on the YouTube channel. By the way, if I haven't said it again today, please subscribe. I mean, tell your friends. This, to me, this information is so important, so valuable, and it's free to you. So at least please subscribe and like the page or whatever, all that good stuff, just so that it gives us an opportunity to continue doing this and supporting you. So I appreciate you guys doing that. Okay. Other questions? Even when I meditate before I sleep, I put protection around myself. I often wake up in a really low frequency. What to do? Again, it's probably because now, Laurel, are you doing the Connecting to Source meditation before you sleep? I just want to clarify that, because what I'm saying is that it's not just any meditation. So I want to know if you're doing this specific Connecting to Source meditation. It's loaded. It looks very simple. It feels very easy to do, very simple, but it has a very specific frequency. The way I did it, also with the voice frequency and other things. So that's why I'm saying, please do specifically that one, Connecting to Source, not just any Connecting to Source, with the specific intent for that source to support you, to protect you, and you should be fine. Now, if you have dreams or other things, you're struggling with something specific to you that needs to be cleared out. So Laurel is saying yes. Do you set your intent specifically, Laurel? Anyway, as she's responding, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to do a little bit of you have to have a little bit of a regimen, a protocol every day to maintain yourself. Okay, so if you've been doing this for a long time and it's not working, then there's something that you are struggling with, and you need to go back to that. So same with a nightmare. If you keep having a same dream or something that a phobia or a panic attack, something that's not going away, there's a significant block that needs to be. This little bit like the affirmation. So you can't keep doing, saying the affirmation without resolving the subconscious problem, you see? And so because of that, then you have to go back to a session that clears the subconscious belief and feeling, the block that prevents you from staying connected to Source. So, but as I'm looking at you just now, just passing, I see it's the problem is with your father, and that is like, it's kind of blocking your energy here. So I recommend that you go to your relationship with your father and see what's there and try to resolve that issue. Of course, we can't do a whole session right now. In fact, I need to sign off pretty soon here. I've been going on for quite some time, but that's the root cause of that block. And before you continue, she's saying, yes, you're right. Thank you. I'll dive deeper. Perfect. That's it. All right. So, yeah. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this made sense. Somebody else is saying, this morning I wake up with a high tone in my right ear for minutes long. The ringing in the ear are usually downloads. And so again, I have so many classes, and there's so much I can put in here for all the new folks. I'm so excited you found me. I'm so excited you found this energy and this information. It's not me, it's the stream of information that's coming through, because we've already been doing this work for 15 years. There's hundreds of classes and sessions on the website. So you can go to CarolineCorey.com and actually let me see if I can just show you real quick, because a lot of people also, for some reason, they email us and say, I can't find this. Where is that thing you talked about? So let me see if I can do this real quick. Do you guys see my screen? Do you see the screen? And this is the website. It's CarolineCorey.com, and you basically go to classes. And as you go to the online classes, it will take you right here. And you see, look at these classes. Each one has like, I don't know how many behind each link. Mastering the guidance system. If you're starting out, I would say start with this one. If you don't know, when you receive downloads or ringing in the ear, or you think you have a spirit guide, but you don't know what's going on, do this class. Then we recommend that you do them in this order. The Healers Program, the Creative Formula is the one I've been talking about, all the way down to, of course, the Superhuman online, the one that we're doing right now. We just did telekinesis yesterday. We did spoon bending, the blindfold classes for the kids. Also, otherwise, if you need something to clear something subconsciously, go to the healing sessions, and then you will see same thing. A huge amount of information. Look at healing sessions, and you have 29 on addictions, 80 on cellular reprogramming, mental disorders. I mean, there's like a massive amount. Here's by topic: abundance, aging, anger, and so on and so forth. Attachments, you guys, here we go. Spiritual attack. So there's so much information. And again, at the bottom, you go to YouTube, which is where you are, and there's all kinds of free stuff as well. So I hope, I'm so glad. I've been doing this for so long, and it's all available. So there's so much so Caroline Corey takes you to Omnium Universe. It's just easier to remember CarolineCorey.com instead of Omnium Universe, okay? And so, unless we have other questions, I think I'm gonna sign off. I don't live in France. I have a place in France as well, so I go to France quite often. All right, so guys, I hope this was, to me, this is so important to kind of shift the perspective of how am I going to navigate this? How am I going to navigate this? How am I going to get out of this? How am I going? So all of this, you have tools, you have the bigger perspective, and you need to be doing this now. Don't think that, well, let me first figure out how to apply for a job first before I do this. Again, when you wake up in the morning, your consciousness is more powerful than your physical reality. You create from your consciousness. So why jump into the physical reality without allowing your consciousness to decide? What do I want to do now? What is relevant for me to do now? This 10, 15, 20 minutes quieting of the mind, the connecting to source, is going to guide you to do exactly in the physical world what you need to do that day. Instead of jumping in and doing 100 things, and actually 80% of what you've done didn't help, you focus on it and you end up doing the 20% that will help, that will get you what you want. That's what I'm saying. It will help you discern and streamline how you should create your reality every day. And the more you do that, like I said, the more a lot of us around the world are doing that. And you'll see where this is going down the road. It's going to be more and more and more powerful and exciting. Okay? So please subscribe. But also, if I didn't get to answer your questions, please leave them in the comments below so that so everybody can benefit as well. And I go to each page and I will answer your questions. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye. Lots of love.